Hello, hello. How are you guys today? Good to see you today. And I just wanted to welcome you for being part of this group and to joining your doTERRA business and really taking that leap and that step to making a huge impact and a huge difference for the world. And I am just so delighted to have you here. We've got lots to cover, and I designed this group to be here for you so that you can actually take the steps that you need and have everything all collected in there that's necessary to be able to help you grow your business. Now, there's tons of information out there. There's tons of different leaders who do different things, but I felt like in order for you to have rapid growth is we need to keep it very simple and keep it to the basics. Now, I tend to be a person who gets really complicated and loves to just make things really busy and messy because I'm creative, but I realized over the years that where my growth has been best is when I do things the simplest. And so this whole designed uh, educational page or asset page, I'm going to call it the hub. This hub is designed for you to be able to help you reach in here, pull out assets that you need while you're actually reaching and talking to people and making your connections. Um, but I wanted to start with you. So you are your own asset. You are responsible for your own growth. Now, I can give you tons of stuff and help feed all the information for you, but you need to be hungry and eat it up. You need to be able to reach out and take time and take that commitment to make it grow. Your business is not going to grow on its own. A lot of people will join network marketing and hope and wish that their dreams will just land in their lap if they just sit there and make that let that at least that commitment to sign up, right? But I want to tell you that this is something that you want to invest in you and invest in the time for you. Now, just like a tree, if you plant a tree in the ground, it won't grow unless you water it and nurture it. And growth is not going to happen unless you stretch and make things different than you know yourself to be. Because what you had before you joined this group is you had what you had. You joined this group and this network marketing company because you wanted to have an investment in you. You wanted to be able to grow outside of your limitations that you've had. And in order to do that, you need to be able to be uncomfortable. And uncomfortable, everybody's had to be uncomfortable at one point in time when you had to learn to ride a bike or learn to drive a car or learn to go to school and take those tests, learn to speak in front of somebody. This list is a mile long of all the different things that we have to do on a day to day basis. And growth is uncomfortable, but it's also exciting. So you're going to need to learn to actually love and fall in love with growth. So I wanted to tell you that there's four things that we want to talk about in having a success with growth. And the first thing is taking and committing to you and investing in you. That is number one is G for growth. And if you can invest in you and take that time, recognize what's not working, what's working, where all those areas are that you want to fill in to really empower you. Now, the second thing will be value. The more you grow, the more value you bring to the table, the more value you bring for your family, the more value you'll bring to your team, the more value you'll bring to your community, and really the more value you bring to the world on what your commitment is and what you're up to. The universe responds to that value you bring. The universe will not respond if you don't bring value. It's like the power of attraction. The more you're up to something, the more things will happen. When you're not up to something, things aren't going to happen. Number three is you're going to want to learn to scale, like scale in a way that will help you grow massively. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been doing this business for 8 years, well, since 2013. And I've been doing it part time. And I did it, classes here, classes there, while I was running my full time business that really took 16 hours a day out of my life. My print shop was kept me so busy. But I learned being busy is not productive. You can be busy and then you can be very productive. And so when you're learning to scale, you learn how to do things more efficiently. But what it's going to take is actually learning it the hard way. Like, I would teach some of my employees to bind books, and it was this machine where you take this sheets of paper, and you'd put it in this machine, it would punch it, and then you take another handful of paper, but if you tried to do too much, it would jam the punches in the machine, and so you had to be really good at moving those parts, right, and being quick at it. You weren't quick at it at first. You're not quick at it at first. Just like when you're riding a bike, you're trying to find that balance, you're not good at it. And eventually, you're gonna be running over jumps and doing all these things on your bike, right? Doing and scaling takes that muscle of, like, when you're learning to play a piano, I love this analogy. You don't play you don't sit down and play the piano beautifully the first time. It takes every day, half hour of study of playing the piano and trying to get those notes right. There will be days where none of that comes out right. There will be days where it works beautifully. It's gonna be hard. But the more you put the practice in and the due diligence of doing that, you're going to start to see different ways you can take, I don't wanna call them shortcuts, but efficiency, where you're gonna be more productive in finding ways to be able to scale it so that you can actually do twice as many things in the same amount of time. Now, what kind of things could those be? Right? When you start to build your team and you have leaders, it's best if you actually can train your leaders to do that same work as well and have them train their leaders so that they can scale. So then all of a sudden not it's not just you doing all the work, you have 10 people on your team doing that. So if you're reaching out and talking to 10 people a day and you train them to talk to 10 people a day, how many people do you have when you have 10 people doing 10 people a day? You have 100 people that's being reached out and actually look at that, how that scaled, right? And so, scaling it, become a better leader, become more efficient at your systems. And, day in and day out, you want to be consistent with that so that it's countable. And like when you stop playing the piano for a week, you go back and you play the piano again when you're practicing, you're sloppy. It's not good. And I've experienced this. Um, Another part of that too is when you're scaling is you want to plan, do, and review. As you're going through maybe learning the class, after you do your class, sit down and evaluate what worked really well, what maybe didn't work so well. Don't beat yourself up, you guys. Don't beat yourself up if it didn't work very well because that is really good. You're finding out areas that you can polish and work on. And, I would always ask for some feedback. Maybe you have a mentor that was on the call with you or in the classroom with you, and afterwards, sit down and say, "Let's have an evaluation minute, just regroup and see how did it go? How did it land for you?" And have an understanding with each other that this is really positive feedback and that you need to have a mindset that it's not a personal attack, that it is positive feedback to help you grow and get past those areas that you had in the past, right? So, in order for you to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to hear some of those things that maybe not so favorable. And my commitment that I have with you is that I'm going to say those things to you sometimes. And I want you to agree with me today that you on our team is actually going to take that feedback and actually work with me to be able to get past those areas, to be able to have you grow to a level that you've never experienced before. Now, when I'm mentoring my people and helping them, you want to also be mindful about how that lands with your team too. Like what is going on in your team and how you can actually help make that a scalable value. Now, without scale, you will run out of hours because you can't do it. You will be exhausted. You will be running and running and running, doing all this work for all these people and actually not scaling at all. You cannot do this business without investing in other people and helping other people reach up and be bigger than they know themselves to be. So when I'm speaking to you today here in this whole duplication process that I've created, I want to use that as a scalable uh, tool for you to be able to onboard new leaders, be able to help them scale very quickly, and get through all this training, get familiar with the tools, and use them. And I also want to encourage you if you have ideas that you want me to add to this, I would love to hear that because then together we can achieve more. Now, the last thing that we have on here is leverage. I want to leverage you guys to be able to help you leverage other people, right? The ability to contribute to other people, the ability to make a difference to other people, there's nothing better than that, right? If you sell a product, you want repeat customers. You want the name of this game with doTERRA is to be able to have repeat customers, have customers do their loyalty reward program, have customers understand the value of the loyalty reward program. You want to take that and leverage that to be able to multiply with them sharing with their friends to be able to be on the loyalty reward program too. You need to reinvest in you. You need to invest in the business by giving yourself that leverage of lifting yourself up by what it takes to make it happen. If you are going for India foundership or being a presidential diamond, that is great. And if you want to be an elite, that is great. All levels that are there, it's going to be important for you to communicate and so we know how to work with you and how to lift you up in the way that you need to be lifted up. When you reinvest in you, you will find that it will be much easier, much more, you'll have the pathway, right, to be able to move down, and we're there for you to support you. So I hope that this video was valuable. I hope you find everything on this hub of information. It's a collection of all of the videos that I use to onboard people and to do all the prospecting. And so take use of it. And please do chat me in my WhatsApp group if you have any questions or conversations about it. So enjoy, you guys. I hope that this would not take you too much time to go through these videos and these classes. And I would, if you're like me, I train the best when I know what's in front of me. So I like to go through all of it. And then I'll go back to some of the sections that maybe I need to have more of an understanding on. And again, reach up to your upline to ask those questions so that we can all learn together. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you soon when we come to India.